Here's your Weather Authority's forecast first.
Good morning. As we head into the day today, we're going to be dealing with some clouds and even drizzle across the region. And there's going to be more rain headed in for the overnight hours tonight. It's also going to become very breezy, especially across the higher elevations throughout the entire day today as we continue to see some showers into the evening. So at noon, drizzle is possible. We'll be around 55 degrees by 5. It'll be breezy and 53 at 10. I'll have details coming up.
Live from your news leader, this is WTAJ News This Morning in high definition.
This morning, as the country argues over Syrian refugees coming west, one local woman shares her experience of helping refugees in France during last week's attacks.
And with more than 2,400 overdoses in Pennsylvania last year, find out how one community is trying to bring awareness to the problem.
Also, Pennsylvania's top prosecutor continues working without a valid law license. How experts are saying that affects Kathleen Kane's ability to do her job ahead. Good morning and welcome to WTAJ News This Morning on this Wednesday. Casey Kant's here with Colleen Nelson. This morning, another international manhunt is underway for yet another suspect who slipped away following the Paris terror attacks.
Right now, this is a live look into Paris, where overnight authorities exchanged gunfire in a suburb near the soccer stadium targeted in last week's attacks. The development comes amid ongoing raids across Europe searching for those connected to the violence.
Now, in the wake of those attacks, governors across the country are sharing their concerns about Syrian refugees with the Obama administration. A growing number are saying they will not welcome refugees into their respective states because of terror concerns. The Department of Homeland Security and the State Department reassures them that the federal government is doing the most thorough screenings possible of Syrian refugees. At least 30 governors to this point, mostly Republicans, have said they will not allow Syrian refugees in their states. Pennsylvania's Governor Tom Wolf has taken the opposite approach, though, and is one of the 7 governors who have committed to welcoming resettlement.
My troubles seem so far.
Back here at home, this candlelight vigil was held on the steps of Old Main in University Park to remember those who died in the Paris attacks. Penn State students and folks from the community held their candles and stood for a moment of silence. One by one, speakers talked about standing united and the importance of appreciating people from all walks of life.
Even though we might not be able to do much, like politically speaking, it's just really great thing to say that we're still like there with them in spirit.
You feel connected to the people here, you feel connected to the causes, you feel connected to the events, to the things that happen, and that is basically the idea of tonight.
It's estimated more than 1,500 people were at last night's candlelight vigil. Well, a Blair County woman volunteering at refugee camps across Europe was actually in France the night of the attacks in Paris.
Yeah, incredible. Almost a month ago, Mary Claire Curtis of Hollidaysburg began her journey to Europe. As Lauren Hanley reports this morning, Curtis went to help provide a better life for the refugees, but little did she know her life would change too.
Everyone's story is heartbreaking. There's no one that comes and says, oh, I had a great life and I just decided to live in a camp in France where I didn't speak the language.
Mary Claire Curtis spent most of her trip volunteering in a camp and warehouse in Calais, a city in the northwestern tip of France.
I was actually supposed to leave Calais and go to Brussels the night of the attacks. And we heard on the news that had happened, and I had already missed the last train out.
That same night, the 40 tents in their camp caught fire. Everything burned.
The refugees obviously were so frightened after what happened in Paris because they already do not feel safe. And so feeling like they were vulnerable or feeling like people would blame them was a huge concern, and it still is.
At the time, France's borders were reportedly closed. Curtis was worried she wouldn't be able to continue her journey to Brussels.
It was pretty intense. They had a lot of border control and a lot of people in the train stations that were checking IDs and passports.
10,000 Syrian refugees are slated to come to the United States seeking asylum. Curtis says she's aware of the controversy, but says she hopes people will be open-minded.
I think that people's concerns are completely legitimate. I think that you obviously have to have a thorough background check on anyone who comes into the country to make sure that everything is in line. But at the same time, you really do have to come come to an understanding that human beings are the same no matter what their skin color, no matter what their religious background or economic background.
Lauren Hanley, WTAJ News.
Wow. Curtis says many of the refugees are children who have left their war-torn countries in hopes of living a safer life in the West.
From WTAJ, your weather authority, here's your weather now.
Over the past few days, it has been mild here across the region. We've had some sunshine. Things are going to start to change today. We already have clouds rolling into the region and a bit of drizzle this morning. And temperatures are in the 40s, 48 degrees right now in Altoona, 44 in Johnstown, 46 degrees in Emporium, and 45 degrees in State College. As we head into the afternoon, it is a bit breezy outside thanks to the southeasterly winds. We're at 14 miles an hour in Altoona, 15 in Johnstown and Du Bois, and these winds are gusting into the 25-mile-per-hour range, so it is a breezy day setting up for us. And these winds are going to keep us on the cool side for most of the day, but as we head into the afternoon, temperatures are going to gradually climb into the 50s by around 5 o'clock, and we'll be starting to see some showers. I'll have details on the incoming rain coming up.
Christy, thanks. Legal experts are stopping short of calling for Kathleen Kane's departure.
A special state Senate committee held a public hearing with legal analysts on Tuesday to discuss how it's possible for the Attorney General to do her job with a suspended law license. The Pittsburgh Post-Gazette reported that the experts said some of her duties are not permitted to be done by an attorney whose license isn't in good standing, but said they would need to know more about Kane's responsibilities before they can draw a conclusion about her ability to perform them.
New this morning, an Altoona woman is facing charges for allegedly stealing while on the clock. Police say 30-year-old Dana Conzo was working as a waitress at a Logan Township restaurant when she apparently took a customer's MasterCard information. Police say Conzo used the victim's card number 5 different times and spent nearly $400 of his money. This morning, Penn State police are investigating an assault that happened after a football game. They say several people assaulted a student on the corner of College Avenue and Allen Street. They say the incident happened after the Penn State-San Diego State game back on September 27th. Police also say they believe the incident may have started at Bill Pickle's Tap Room. If you have any information, you're urged to contact campus police or the Center County Crime Stoppers. They're offering an award of up to $1,000 for any information that leads to an arrest.
A man accused of having child pornography will be in the Center County Courthouse for a preliminary hearing later today. Police say 26-year-old Adam Zidney of Ferguson Township had nearly 600 files of child porn downloaded onto his computer. Those files apparently showed images of children performing sexual acts on adults. Zidney was first arrested for child porn back in August. He's been in the Center County jail on a $25,000 bail. A man who pled guilty to shooting and killing his pregnant girlfriend was sentenced in Somerset County on Tuesday. Denver Blau will spend 30 to 60 years in prison for killing Kresa Kowalczyk, who was 8.5 months pregnant. Her daughter was delivered by emergency C-section but died 20 days later. Blau was also ordered to pay $15,000 in restitution.
5:08 right now. WTAJ News This Morning's back after this.